This week in 3D Archery at the Bayou Bowman, New Iberia, shooting a bow I made. Let's see how it goes. Alright everybody, there you have it. Look, it is what it is. I wasn't expecting huge scores. I was expecting a little higher than this, but I'm fine. Bow I made, I'm testing it, trying to figure out what improvements I can make, whether it's got a potential or not. 224 is what I shot. You know what? I had a bad case of collapsing, and it took me a while to realize what I was doing, and it all came down to pressure with my front hand. I get here, I relax that pressure a little bit, and then when I let go, this would go in, this would come out, send my arrows to the right. The bow can shoot. It's just me. 2 10s, 10 9s, so 12 out of 30 were in the yellow. Another thing on that, if you see the scorecard right here, only 2 ends, I didn't put 1 in the yellow. So that's not, look, I got to work on it, I got to tighten it up, I understand that. I had 3 8s, 5 7s, 7 6s, a 5, and those 2 4s. 2 4s killed me, the 5 killed me, and the 7 6s. I mean, get rid of those, I would have shot fantastic. But that's what it is, you know what? I'm pretty happy. Now I can go back, I got some data, I can look at it, see what I need to do. I made some notes while I was shooting. It was the collapsing, and part of it was the draw weight of the bow. I developed my shot cycle based off this one bow, and when I'm at full draw, it's really nice, it's taut. And all I do is that little expansion, I can feel it, and I just let go. This bow's a lot longer, and I don't have that tautness. Here and here feels exactly the same thing, so I was using too much of a conscious release, and that's what was causing it. So that I think I can fix, but the bow has potential, which we're going to talk about now. I'll give you some background on the bow and the arrows that I used. So the bow I used is a bow I just made, and I made it specifically for what I wanted in a target bow. I wanted a longer riser. I wanted to see how much of a difference that makes. I wanted to see about limb angles, grip positions, and things like that. I call it the Palomino takedown. Here's a picture of the riser right there. Yeah, I love my laser engraver. Right? I made some mistakes while making this bow. When I made my other bows, I had a really nice little workshop. I had a drill press, I had a lot of things. I had to get rid of those when I moved down here. So this was mainly made with hand tools. And I screwed up on the bottom limb. Right here, it's not center. You can see how this is different. Look, from there to there. I try to compensate. I was drilling in, and I hit a hard piece of wood, and it kicked my bit over, and now my hole's off center. So I got a slight twist to my limb. Didn't affect shooting whatsoever, but it's something I got to fix. But the big thing, I really, look, innocent mistake, but I learned. Limb angle. I did some research. I'm looking online, they're talking about recurves. Recurves are 15 to 20 degrees. When I drew it out, I drew 20, and I was like, man, I've never seen recurve limbs this far back. It didn't dawn on me what they meant by recurve. Duh. I looked at my bows, and they're all like 8 to 12, 10, things like that. So I go, well, you know what, let's find out. So I cut it to 15 degrees. I said I didn't realize it. They're talking about Olympic recurves. And that's what they call a recurve, not a wooden bow. So my bad. So I'm going to have to fix that, right? Which is not a big thing. Now, my grip, I love this shape. This is off that Palomino. I pretty much copied it. My hand sits in there perfect. It's nice. It's really thick, right? And that thickness, I don't think it affected my scoring. I'll just use the picture. See the picture right here? I'm getting some rub on my Velcro, and it's on the first half. The second half is all clean. So you can see in the picture, look, I got a lot of extra wood there. So I'm going to put this baby on the belt sander, and I'm going to bring this in just past where that rub is to the inside of it. It's going to be a much smaller shelf, but that hopefully will prevent that, because it ain't doing it now, but it might do it later. So one of the things. I'm going to change, I think, a little bit on this side of it. It's not uncomfortable. It's actually very comfortable, but I think just a little deeper might help me out a lot. So what's the length of my bow? Well, I thought it was 66 inches, because when I put it next to my other Palomino, it was like this much shorter, right? So I figured it was a 66. So I ordered a 58-inch string because the general rule of thumb is 4 inches and 66 minus 4 is 58. Well, I didn't realize it, but when I did the AMO measuring, my limbs are 23.5 inches. My riser is 22 inches. The other limbs, 23.5, and that adds up to 68. But, so why is it shorter? Well, my only guess is limb angle. I got more of a recurve on these, and that, hence, shorter. So I have the wrong string. So what does that tell you? Well, another mistake. My brace height is 10.5 inches. Now, I went down to like 8, but due to this angle, these babies were flopping around in the wind. Now, they're 45-pound limbs. And at that 10-inch brace height I pulled down, I'm only getting 30 pounds. So there's something going on, and it's got to be that angle. So I have a plan on that. My tiller, top and bottom's equal, 9 3/4. So that's the bow. Now, here's some changes I'm going to do. I'm going to shorten, bring in the shelf. I'm going to round this off, right? I'm going to fix this if possible. I can't fill the hole in and re-drill it, which I might be able to do. I don't know just yet. Looks like this plate that I used to secure it, I got some play in it, so if I counter cock it, it might bring it all back in. So those are the two things I'm going to do. And then I'm going to build some shims and put it in here. I'm going to bring this from 15, I'm hoping up to about 12. Let's see if that gives me a little bit more draw weight. Of course, with that said, I'm going to have to order a longer string. Now my arrows, you know what? I am totally happy with these arrows. Got these from a guy in China. Now I can't speak Chinese. I'm going to try to, here's the words, right? Zheng Jianxi. Zheng Jianxi. That's what it says in there on the bottom. It says Zheng a lot on here and all the sides. It's really cool. This arrow is very unique. It is a carbon Kevlar weave. It's hard to see indoors, but it's red and black, or red and gray alternating. So it's pretty cool looking, and he's got this fantastic kanji and all that. So I'm going to, if I can film it, it's going to be offside. If it's not there, it's because I just couldn't get a good view of it, right? So what about these arrows? Well, they're 600 spine. The shaft itself is 32 inches, and the shaft alone weighs 236 grains. So that comes out to 7.375 grains per inch, right? I am using a 100 grain insert. I love these. These are awesome. They're better than your regular field points. Now the whole weight with the insert, my pin nocks, and my feathers. My feathers are 3 5-inch feathers, shield cut. The total weight comes up to 387 grains. So that's more than 10 grains a pound, which is a hunting level. So I'm going to try to get that down by bringing the weight up. Arrows flew great, man. When I did what I had to do, it was fun watching these things. It's not fast. At 30 pounds and throwing this, they're pretty slow. But it was fun to watch, right? And when I was outside shooting in the wind yesterday, I shoot and they go, rookie, rookie, boom, and they hit where I wanted. But it was a ball. So, a lot to do. Change my limb angles, change my handles, my shelf. We'll see how that goes, right? And my bottom limb, try to get that better in line. So my next shoot isn't till the November 1st, because they got a 2-week break. So it gives me some time to get this ready and practice. This whole thing is a long process. I want to be good at the end. I ain't too worried about the beginning. I got stuff I got to work on, and then I got stuff to work on my bow. Alright everybody, there you have it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time with an all-new episode of 3D Archery. The moral of this story is, just don't wing it when you make a bow. Have a plan. Nah.